Welcome back to the Unstuck movement. I am your host, Rob Z. Today we have the incredible Gina Magaly Rodriguez with us. And Gina, I love to jump into these episodes with a question right off the bat. You ask great questions and you get great breakthroughs in your life and your business. And I want to ask you this question as you've created this international real estate business for yourself. You've been successful in this after your life of raising your kids and being at home with your family. You decided, I'm going to jump into the business world and make this happen. Over the past 2 years, you've built something incredible. How do you build a successful business after raising your kids and starting something from scratch, not knowing anything about the real estate world? What's this journey been like for you?
You know, it's great to be on the show, by the way. I'm very honored to just tell my story out there for all those that are listening. And I can't tell you, many, many times in my life, I've had goals and I've succeeded. I've been very, very blessed to have the opportunity to find that drive, to play that, kind of like on a video, fast forward. Well, Gina had a fast forward. Gina had 18 years, 20 years of raising kids. And to me, I had to pick up the pace, triple time, quadruple time, work every day, 7 days a week, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. I'm on a mission. I have strength. I have drive. Get it done. Time is money. And it's that continual every day of energetic, a battery power that you got to recharge at night. Get up again. Go to church. Know that there's a will, there's a way. You got to have that faith. You got to keep it going. And if I'm doing it, there's so many others that do it. You hear people at 60, 70 getting their college degree. That's probably going to be me, at that age, to be able to say I had two lives. I was a mom and then I built a career. And kid you not, I think that was my attitude at 21 when I first got married. And that attitude of I want to have children, then a career. It's like two lives in one.
Oh man, I love this so much. Okay, there's so many questions already to ask you. So I want to introduce us to the Unstuck business, right? This platform is created to help you find breakthrough in your business and in your life. And so thank you to the sponsor also, the Connected Leaders Academy run by Jose Escobar. So Gina is an international real estate specialist in Houston, Texas, known for her passion, expertise, and dedication to client satisfaction. With a diverse professional background and active community involvement, she specializes in connecting individuals with their dream homes across borders. So I just wanted to give people an idea of who you were, who you are. You said about having two lives, and I love this, right? Because
Yeah.
these days, I think what we hear is, I'm going to have my career and then have kids. You had your kids, now you're having your career. Why would you encourage anybody watching or listening right now who feels like they have to have their career first? Why did you do it your way?
A good question, because I have friends today my age trying to, still be the elementary PTO president mom. I honestly have to say, it's just we all have a choice in life. I would recommend either one, whatever floats your boat. What do you want to do when you're 21? Do you want to be a mom and focus on that and sweat your tears and figure out your 12-hour days of breakfast, laundry, practices, Uber driving, but fundraising? I mean, do you want to worry about that in 20s and 30s and then do a career and enjoy? I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying my career right now because no one is stopping me. I
Mm.
don't have to stop and feed anybody. Yes, I have my husband. He's cool. He could take care of himself. Honey, you know what to do. There's lunch meat and cheese in the refrigerator. You're dependable for children. You have to feed them. You have to bathe them. And so now I'm just like, this is Gina time. Gina time, and I have a great supportive husband. Kids are in college. I'm like riding the wave and enjoying my career.
I love that. Great answer. That's really, really cool. Where does your drive come from, do you feel like? 'Cause it sounds like you've always had this drive. You directed it in another direction previously. Now you've driven it in another direction with your real estate career. Where does that drive come from within you?
Good question. I think my dad, coming from, you always have to have that role model. Dad has a fifth grade education, came over here to the States from Mexico, started working in the crops. He got his citizenship, married mom, and he started a life here in the US in Galveston Island, here in Texas. Brothers, sisters born, I'm the third one. And it's like for dad to have, the fifth grade education and to have his business, two properties in Mexico, three in Galveston. And I'm just like, Dad, if you could do it, I'm educated. I have a college degree. Oh, darn well I could do it a lot more and quicker. So I think I got that drive from my dad. And still today, he's the one that talked me into, hey, sweetheart, now that the kids are all in school, why don't you consider real estate? It's because of my dad that I'm here today and still working on selling his properties in Mexico. And obviously, once he's completely retired, getting rid of his properties in Galveston so he can enjoy life. So it is from my dad, a natural drive that I feel it every day. I witnessed it growing up. Dad would leave early, come home late. And it's just like, I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for you. And now I get to say that to my kids. I'm doing it for you. So it's that pay it forward. It's that longevity, that generational wealth that you build within your family.
Yeah, I love that. That's really good. When you're playing catch up like you have, and you said you've been building this business and fast forward over the past couple of years, what does that look like to build what you're building in fast forward? How does that change your approach to a day? How does that change your process and your schedule? How do you manage that?
I just get up and do it. There's no organized way. My goals change monthly because of who I meet, who I interact with. With you, for example, doing a podcast. I can't tell you how many people I've met recently that want me on board. Gina, we need you to educate our team. Gina, we need to teach us how you did real estate internationally. How did you do it so quick? And so it's every day you have a mission, right? Yes, you do what makes money for you, but how can you give back to the community? And finding that balance for me has been pretty simple because it comes to me. I don't have to chase it. So that's a gift in itself. I think it has a lot to do with my personality for sure.
That sounds like a gift in itself. Yeah, it seems like diving into something and doing what you've been doing over the past couple of years would bring a lot of overwhelm, and it seems like you don't experience that overwhelm. Is there anything that you practically do to minimize that, or is that just something like you said that comes naturally?
No, it just comes. It comes like a ball of fire sometimes. Um, I can tell you it's very few times where I get to stare at a blank wall and think, because you have to meditate, you need to work out, you need to recollect and start over. But it honestly comes my way. It's kind of like, people say, turn the page and listen. That's what I see a lot more than I ever have in my life. How it's like the time is now. The
Mm.
time for what I need to be doing right now is happening. It's unfolding in itself. And it's almost unexplainable, but it's almost as if like if I could write it down, you would be amazed at so many things that come my way every day.
So it sounds like a lot of being present and accepting and being there for what's going on at this current point in time, and actually
Correct.
being there and not being somewhere
Right.
else in the future.
Exactly. It's living the moment, following the direction. Don't take side notes, don't take detours, stay in the path, see it unfold, follow it, execute it, and make sure it's done. And on to the next project. And so that's how it's been. On to the next country, on to the next country. Oh my God, okay, check. On to the next country. And it looks like the ball is rolling and it's looking really good.
Why real estate? Why was that where you knew you had to go?
It has a lot of hats, and I've done it all. I've done the marketing, I've done the sales, I've done contracts, I've done outside sales, I've done field sales. I mean, you name it. Like, it's me. It's building relationships. I did it all the time with all the moms at my kids' schools, with the principal, with and the superintendent. And so to me, it's so natural to be a part of a real estate world where people need trustworthy professionals. And that's just me. That's always been me. I've always been a leader in communities. That's what you need to be, you know? And so it's just like, it was just like, what's a realtor? And all I did was check the box. Yep, that's me. That's me. So everything in itself, it's a lot of who I am and what has made me who I am in my life and who I am today. So yeah, I wouldn't choose another industry, believe me.
So we're going to get into the real estate portion here and the international real estate side of this, but I want to go back to this, the first life that you had raising your kids, and it sounded like you approached that
Right.
as a leader just as you approach this now as a great leader. What was
Right.
it? What kind of things did you stood out to you, maybe that some other parents don't do, that you did as a leader for your community, as a leader for your school and for your children, things that stood out that made a huge difference because you went out of your way to do them? Does anything stand out to you in that part of your life?
Yes. So in the small community where I raised my children, there's one high school in the small town, and there's a lot of Hispanics that need flyers translated. You're doing a fundraiser. Every flyer needs to be translated. Every document needs to be translated. And so we're talking about 15 years ago that it's just like, it was very like, well, and I was like, hey, I'll be your volunteer parent. I will translate every document. I will present it to every bilingual parent or the ones that know a little bit of English. I know Spanish. I got it. And I started an organization with the superintendent for Hispanic families. And, a lot of families come here illegally. And to me, there's only so much I can do because they're afraid. And so I would kind of like go around the corner. Here comes Gina. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. And they're very reserved families that you need to respect. And I was that front line. Oh, well, Gina can handle it. Gina can talk to the band parents in Spanish. You know, Gina can talk to, come on, Gina, we need volunteers, but well, no, they can't. They have to do background check. They don't have a driver's license. So there was a lot of struggles, but with the superintendent, I formed a Hispanic parent board and it was educational. You got to do this. You want your legal documentation, talk to this person. And so I was like your liaison with a lot of organizations for the district. And it got really, really good hypes. And that just came naturally. What can I do to help our families understand what we do here in, the American school system? And how can we make them understand that it's a joy to send cupcakes, Hey, it's your son's birthday. You can send cupcakes, to homeroom class. And so it's the little things that it's so easy for us to understand. We live here, but it's communicating it to them. They didn't know that they had to call and check them out of school because they had a doctor's appointment and little things like that that to me that just hit my heart. Like, no, everybody has to know what's going on. And so that's one of the big things that I did for the district was start a Hispanic parent board. And it was very, very successful.
One of the things I'm picking up from talking to you is you're an excellent communicator. Like, you're very good at communicating and communicating effectively and efficiently, and you seem decisive. Is that one of your
Yes.
character traits? So what is
Right.
it? Where does decisiveness come from for you, and what does it mean to you to be decisive? How do you? People struggle with that. How to make a
You're
direct
right.
decision and stick to it? How do you do that?
So let me give you an example. You know how in real estate, you have all the listings in one platform, right? So can you imagine Houston platform, Houston, Texas, all the houses for sale in Houston is tied into another platform in Latin America.
Mm.
Can you imagine that? Like every realtor in Houston could have access to all the listings in Latin America. So anybody can sell in Latin America, finding the right property, right? So my drive, as that bridge is still being built, Latin America to the MLS here, education. So I sat down with the leader of the MLS in Latin America and I said, something needs to be done. We need to educate every realtor in Houston how to use Latin America. Time is money. Let's do it. Let's start educational webinars. And it's like, I don't know. I guess it's just that when you have that vision to educate and for the better, for the good of our community, that's just natural to me. I can't explain it. You know, when you see a need in our community, let's do it. Don't talk about it. Let's get it done. What time next week? Wednesday at noon. You know, it's just that's just the way life is supposed to be. A lot of people like to sit and ponder and wonder, well, maybe, what if, I don't know, let me think about it. No, you're either going to get it done or you're not.
I love it. So good. Right. That takes a certain, we all are necessary in the planning process, but we really need people who get things done, who take
Right.
action, get things done. And it sounds like the reason that
Yes.
you get things done are because you're very purpose driven. So
Right.
the getting things done is not like a selfish ambition. It is because you're purposely
Mhm.
doing it to help other people and to raise everybody up. And so
Right.
from that comes a very strong internal drive. So I want to dive into this topic of international real estate, the world that you found yourself in, that most real estate agents never find themselves in. So we're going to take a 60-second break to shout out the sponsor. When we come back, we're going to find out what is international real estate all about and why do most real estate agents never pursue it.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
So, Gina, you're in the world of international real estate. Most real estate agents never even consider this as an option or have any idea how to get into it. What is international real estate? Why did you choose to go into it, and how has it changed what you're doing?
I believe it's also part of who I am, who I've always been. I'm always that type of individual that's up for the challenge.
Hmm.
I don't know why I've always been like that, but I am. And it's very distinctive. It is a beautiful niche. It is phenomenal. I mean, how many do you know today in your pipeline of friends and family that travel? Well, can you imagine giving everybody that itch of, remember how it used to be with going to Cancun and it was the, oh my God, I'm blanking on the word, on, you know, when you, timeshare. Remember it was all about timeshare, right?
Yeah. My dad still
That,
uses one all
yeah,
the time.
right. So that is the future. Kid you not, 10 years from now, a lot of our friends and family will be having investment properties because it's doable. And to me, I don't know, it was just that calling because of my dad. Dad has properties in Mexico. Okay, well, ground zero, how are we going to work with someone there? And it took me a year, but I have a realtor in Mexico now that I trust, that I interviewed, that I know what I'm doing here. Do you know what you're doing there, you know? And finding the happy medium and holding each other accountable, it's beautiful. So to me, building relationships in other countries and to be able to share it with realtors here locally and say, it's okay, I got you. I have an awesome realtor in Portugal. He's freaking fun. Like he's laughter, full of energy. He gets the job done. You know, kind of like finding the mirror image personality that I am, someone that you're going to have fun working with. That's who I find in other countries. And a lot of people are very in their bubble, very reserved. They don't know how to cross that bridge. And to me, it was so natural. I've traveled in my life. The kids would stay at mom's, let's go to Moscow, let's go to Italy, let's go to France, and we were able to do that. So to me, it's easy to get on a plane, meet someone, and build a relationship. So building the bridges of referral partners in other countries, it's like you're doing it here locally with another broker down the street. But not many do that because it might be a fear factor. It's too much to learn. And it is. I am not going to lie. But when you meet a good referral partner, they'll teach you, they'll educate you, they like you. Gina, we want you to learn. Gina, we want you to represent us. And so it's not everybody will find that bond with individuals from across the world, But I've just been so lucky because of who I am to build a strong know, like, and trust system and go from there.
What would you advise somebody or encourage somebody to do who's in real estate who, sounds like an amazing opportunity to travel. It sounds like an amazing opportunity to visit places you've always wanted to visit and also engage with cultures maybe you've always wanted to engage with and like build relationships all over the world. How does somebody get started doing that? I'm sure you're encouraging real estate agents right now to do this. What are you telling them to do?
Right. So I've already been approached by several agencies. They want me to go to their brokerage and teach their agents. And, first things first, you got to get certified. CIPS, it's Certified International Professional Services here in the US, and they're starting to offer it in other countries too. It's a very reputable certification, and that's where you learn other countries how they work, who's licensed, who's not, who gets by just, the sneaky style, the warning, the red flags, what to do, who to contact, who to call, and always be best friends with the consulates. And it's neat to know that side of it from a political perspective, but once you're in, you're in. And I can't tell you not how many times I've heard, why not travel, work, and have fun at the same time? And that's my life today. Why not? And one thing that I'm always pushing with other realtors that ask me, like, Gina, how did you go from residential to boom, And it's like, because that's what my next page was.
Hmm.
It was so simple for me to find it. And then boom, I have a marketing agreement with Panama. Boom, a marketing agreement with Dubai. Boom, with Mexico and Portugal. Like, how did I get 4 countries in 4 months? Like, how did this? I can't tell you
Yeah,
how
why
this
don't
is
you tell us
happening.
how this is
Yeah,
happening?
and I know, right? It's all about who you know and
Mm.
who you're meeting, and it's picking up that phone and it's seeing the presentations. They educate us with the Houston Association of Realtors. I'm on the Global Advisory Committee. We're having so many presenters. Oh, well, who's this guy? The MLS guy of Latin America. Let me look him up on LinkedIn right now. Send him a message. I take a picture of the presentation. Dude, I love your presentation. Thank you so much. When can we have a one-on-one? It happens like that. And it's all about being proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Portugal guy, I've been seeing his messages on our feed of our group. I finally said, Antonio, I need to have a one-on-one. Boom, it happened, right? I go to the Texas Realtors in Austin, the convention. Panama's presenting. Young ladies, Maria. Oh my God, Maria, one-on-one. Let's set it up on Zoom next week. So it's being quick. And in Mexico, it was easy to me. Went to a conference for AMPI is the acronym for the Association of Realtors in Mexico, right? AMPI. I go to the conference in October. There must have been 40 builders that had a booth. I went to every booth. I wanted to know who everybody was, how long you've been in the business. I took my notes. Everybody got my business card. I'm on 10 of their groups right now. They're constantly sending me marketing, information because we need to know. Have you sold out? What's the specials right now for Easter? And so it's opening that communication, and it's that easy. I'm telling you, like, if you don't know marketing, then or building relationships, then this isn't for you. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's so easy to be able to, even like yourself, how I met you through a BNI, relationship. Boom. And that's how I'm getting constantly fed referrals naturally.
Yeah, yeah. It's what you said in there too. The fact that you're in a presentation and you snap a picture of the presentation, you DM the person on LinkedIn. It's like being resourceful. You're using the resources that are
Immediately.
available. You're immediately
Right.
doing it. Plus, you're tapped in. So this is something that, I mean, we're both part of BNI. BNI is global. It's business networking international. It's not a cult. Some people think that, like, you're in some sort of like business cult or something like that. No, it's an amazing organization of networked people who help pass referrals to each other. And so you're literally connected to the entire world. So through BNI, I have made connections and had podcasts and business relationships with people in Dubai also, which is just crazy
Right.
to me that somebody would reach out across the world because we're linked in the same network and we do the same sort of thing. Right. So, and it's
Right.
taking the opportunity to do that and not be afraid or deterred by boundaries or deterred by, oh, this person's in another country, so we can't collaborate or whatever that might be. No, it helps you to become very cultured very quickly if you use it correctly. And so I would encourage anybody
Yes.
who might be watching this, listening, who is in BNI, take it outside of your local chapter. Like, you're invited to take it nationally. You're invited to take it globally. Do that and leverage that in a major way. So
Exactly.
it's really cool to hear you
Right.
leveraging that, because I think we can easily be so closed into our local area. It's so easy to be closed into where we're physically located, to not embrace something outside of that. And what's so cool about BNI also is that if they know you're a BNI member, then you already have a built-in relationship. You already have a
Yes.
built-in
Yes.
understanding. So
So
tell
those are
me,
my 3 clients. Real quick, just to add to BNI, the last 3 meetings that I had with BNI, now I'm looking for a reputable agent in Greece, Costa Rica, and I already did Dubai. Just with BNI, I have 3 more countries under my belt. Isn't that crazy? Because
yeah,
of BNI.
yeah.
So
So, and tell me about your experience in BNI. What that has you've just mentioned what it has done for you, but why does BNI work so well?
So I studied BNI for the last 5 years. I was in the health insurance industry, and I was, invited so many times, and I would go different chapters, and I don't like to be limited. So when I heard of BNI Global, international,
Yeah.
that's the one I belong to. I was like, that's the one I want. So needless to say, fast forward, I'm talking 3 months. 3 months I've been in BNI International, and it's about utilizing other individuals, other organizations, speed networking, showing up to other, because ours is virtual. So going in person meetings, meeting individuals, and it's just like a spider web effect. It's beautiful. They're like, whoa, we've never met an international realtor. I'm like, let's do something. Let's go. Let's go. Time is money. Who do you know? What can I do for you? Let's go. Let's set it up. Let's set it up. That's how I work. And they love it because they know I'm not a flaker. Oh, yeah, we got to get together, get some coffee. No. When are you available tomorrow at 8 a.m.? Great. Let's set it up. Send me the Zoom link. That's how quick I work, because you got to make it happen. And I've seen it. Like I said, I just have 3 clients. That happened within the last 4 weeks. And so, can you imagine how many more countries I'm going to be able to connect? Families of BNI, clients of BNI, to countries that I trust and I now work with. It's a win-win.
And you said you're in BNI International. Is that like the chapter that you're in?
Yeah,
Or
it's BNI International, Katy, Cyprus, Latino. So it's all in Spanish.
oh, okay.
That's the chapter that's virtual.
How many people were in that chapter?
So when I started, there was about 15. And, as people come and go, we're circulating, we're growing again. We're up to 12 now. People move, things happen. And so we're actively uh, recruiting, every chair, whatnot. And so it's coming, it's growing again. It is a new chapter. And I want to say maybe about 6 months or so. And so I'm the international realtor.
And so are there people in there from all over the world in that chapter?
Yeah. So we have a lady from Colombia. We have always visitors from Mexico. We have somebody from Honduras. Um, we had a visitor from the DR, the Dominican Republic,
Hmm.
and Puerto Rico. And then there's several from Texas because we want to build that international, spider web effect. So it has been very, very, I guess, just to see it grow, being invited to the Colombian BNI. Wow, like who gets invited to the Colombian BNI? We're going to
Yeah.
be there in about 3 weeks. We've already been formally invited, which is it's nice, and it's getting there, believe me.
Well, it's really interesting to hear because when you get into BNI, you think of it just like in your localized area and you're passing referrals locally. And
Mhm.
it's really cool to see this, like, 'cause I'm a part of the national speed networking, right? So I talk to people all over the country on a weekly basis. But there's also the global speed networking. And it's
Mhm.
interesting to know there's chapters being put together of people all over the world because
Yes,
that to me, that's where I look at it. That's like the next level of what BNI is and what they've created with this global network.
right.
That's brilliant. I didn't even know that was a thing. So that's really,
Yeah,
really cool.
so you just said you're the speed networking, right? You're involved,
Yeah.
okay, on Tuesdays. Well, I asked one of the ladies in charge, I said, where's the speed networking in Spanish? And so she's like, you need to talk to so and so. Apparently, there's a big one, but it's in Portuguese in Belize. There's over 600 members over
Wow.
there. And it's just like, I'm telling you, if you don't know your own backyard, well, let me teach you something about across the world, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to see where we can get my chapter into the speed networking in Spanish. So that's a goal of mine. I'm
Very
still
cool.
working on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm launching a regional speed networking. I'm in the Pennsylvania area, right? So I'm launching
Right.
like 15, 16 network speed networking just for our area. And I think this is the cool thing about this is that they leave BNI leaves you open to create these sorts of things. It's
Right.
there's a lot of freedom. You always grow the best when you're constrained. You have like boundaries, but you have freedom inside the boundaries. And BNI is a great place of like, there's boundaries of like, this is how this is structured. This is how we do things because it works really well this way. But inside of that, you have a lot of freedom to do anything you want to create the business that you want to create.
Right.
And I find that just to be so powerful. So, Gina, this has been a really interesting, fascinating conversation of something that I personally know nothing about, international real estate or real estate in general. So it's
Right.
really cool to learn. I learned a lot from you today, but also just of your
Good.
mindset, your discipline, your drive, your decision-making skills. What would you leave the audience with? Anybody who's watching or listening who is thinking about starting over, thinking about starting to launch something off the ground, and they feel like it's too late. What advice would you give them in the beginning phases of that?
I would say structure. I have had my own personal coaches, guidance, mentors. I've probably have had 4 coaches. And it's about just keeping you in that straight path of focusing and not listening to your evil little head. You can't do it. Not today.
Yeah,
And it's just the drive of the structure, and don't look left, don't look right. Keep your head up and look straight. You can do it. If I can do it, I know anybody else can for sure.
I love it. Good stuff. So thank you so much for sharing today.
Thank
Thank you for being a part of
you.
the Unstuck business. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.